So then we go into our one-on-one date with Gabby. We ride in a helicopter for the second time this season. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Brianna's Bachelor Breakdown. I'm Brianna, your Bachelor Relationship Analyst. If you love getting into the nitty-gritty of the drama and the relationships, then this channel is for you. Today we're going to be covering episode 5 of Clayton season. So as you can see, I'm joined by a very special guest. This is my boyfriend, my video editor, and a fellow YouTube superstar, Jason of Jason's Take. And I'm super excited because it's my first in-person collaboration. So Jason, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello everybody, it is I, once again, Jason from Jason's Take. Yes, this is our second collab and history in the making, our first in-person collab since she didn't want to do her next set of collabs with me. You know, I had to do Rachel first, had to do these other people, but not me. But it's good to be back. Like I said, I am from Jason's Take. I do album reviews in all genres, mainly hip-hop and R&B, but, you know, anything that's out, I'm probably reviewing it, so definitely check me out.
Well, welcome. We're so excited to have you on the show. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So we open up with Serene's one-on-one, which we did not get to see last episode. We go to the pier in the happening city of Galveston, Texas. They have roller coasters, carnival games, and they just kind of hang out. What did you think of the date portion of this one-on-one date?
Well, first off, Galveston is only about an hour away from us. We are actually in Houston, Texas. That's where I live, so it was pretty cool to see that. I've been to Galveston myself, but I thought it was pretty cool that him and Serene were able to have the whole place to themselves. It actually was pretty fun just to get on the rides and do different things. Clayton has not been a guy that I've really enjoyed like that, and the dates haven't, in my opinion, been that enjoyable and that fun. So I thought this was a cool getaway, just to have some fun, get some ice cream, go on these fun rides, and they both looked to be having a lot of fun. Like Serene was, you know, getting more comfortable. She was definitely scared on the rides, but I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. Especially about like just the activities that they did in general. I'm someone who loves roller coasters, so I just had fun watching this. I think this was by far, like you said, like the most fun date that they've done all season.
Which is kind of sad.
Yeah, honestly. But some of their conversations also stuck out to me that were not as enjoyable to watch.
I didn't want to talk about that yet.
We gotta talk about it. So, so some moments that stuck out to me when they were in the ice cream shop. And Clayton was like serving the ice cream to Serene, and he's like, "What are you in the mood for besides me?"
I don't understand. He's just so boring, man. It's like, I mean, his jokes are like really corny, but it's not that type of corny that's like, oh, like it's so corny that it's funny, like it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was just awkward, man. But,
yeah.
I mean, you know, Serene is. I mean, all the women are like super attracted to him. They want to get to know him, so. Those type of jokes work, I guess, for them. But I don't know. It was so weird.
I mean, he's attractive, so maybe they're just able to filter out what he's actually saying and just look at his face. I don't know. But it was very cringy. Another moment that stuck out to me was when they were like, I guess, wrapping up the date, sitting on the picnic tables or whatever, and Serene was like, "Do you think I'm mysterious?" And he was like, "Now that you mention it, yeah, I know nothing about you."
Like, bro, you were not thinking about that. What was he saying? It was like something, just your smile. It's like, it seems like there's something more to your smile. I don't know what it is, but it's like, what?
It's like, okay.
What do you mean?
What are we doing here?
If you don't know what it is, how you know it's something there if you don't even know what it is? Like, what made you come up with that? And would you have said it had she not even mentioned it? Like,
and also, why did she mention it? Like, what type of conversation starter? Do you think you know nothing about me? Yeah, I know nothing about you. Cool.
And that's the awkward part about the whole date. It was just like, when it got to the conversation piece of it, it was just so awkward. It was just so weird.
Yeah.
It didn't feel so natural.
Yeah.
Which is kind of unfortunate. I really like Serene. It would have been cool to see more of a natural like conversation or connection, like with a Rachel, for example.
Yeah.
And it just when they opened their mouths, that's when things got weird for me.
No, that's very telling. Like, the fun that they had on the date was due to the circumstances and just enjoying the setting, the activities, the scenery. It wasn't necessarily... I mean, they enjoyed each other's company, but, like, they wouldn't have had the same level of enjoyment just doing something else, something regular.
Right. So I guess it's good that they had that part of the date. Because
is it though? Because that can trick them into thinking that they have more chemistry than they do. Because when they reflect on the date, they're reflecting on that activity and not actually their connection with each other. I think it would make for a more awkward date if they didn't have a connection, but I think it's better to find that out than to him keep her based off of the connection that he thinks he has. You know what I mean? That's not actually there.
That's a good, yeah. Okay, that's a good point. I think about it. I don't know. I guess, like, I don't know, it kind of reminded me of, remember on Matt James' season when he was with Katie? Like, they had their date, and it was, like, super fun, but you could still tell that, true. Like, it wasn't something really there. Yeah. It seems like Serene's going far. I don't know, maybe.
That's fair. But I feel like Matt, to give him one slice of credit, I think he was more willing to cut someone. Like, he was more willing to identify a connection and cut someone based off of that quickly. Because he did that. He did that with Katie, and I think he did that with Jasenia too on her one-on-one. Like, he wasn't. He wasn't here to, like, waste time. I feel like Clayton is not as likely to make to evaluate things that quickly. As we have seen.
Nah, it sounds bad, but no, it's true.
Yeah, so I think I will give that to Matt. He was better at deciphering what the connection actually was.
A positive thing about Matt James.
Who knew? So then we move into the night portion. We go to dinner. Serene is looking amazing, dressed to the nines. Clayton is looking very degular, which is actually saying a lot because he
didn't have a hoodie. He
looked
didn't have a
pretty
hoodie.
dusty.
He didn't have a hoodie under the jacket.
Yeah, okay. So he wasn't looking dusty. He was looking regular. I think it's a step up for him. So some thoughts. On the evening part.
First off, it seems like shirt and tie is only for rose ceremonies. So I guess that's
He said hoodie, sweater only.
Yeah, so there's that. But I did appreciate Serene opening up, and talking about, stuff from her past and what was it, her cousin or a close relative that died, her past, that was her age.
She mentioned her grandma and her cousin.
And her cousin, yeah. I could tell that it was really hard for her. She wasn't really crying, or like it wasn't easy to come out for her, so maybe that's something that she struggles with, but it was great to see her open up. Clayton definitely heard her, definitely appreciated it, but that's really all I got from that. I mean, he didn't Matt James it. Like, it wasn't too bad in terms of the response, but I just feel like he didn't really give much. And it seems like from the one-on-ones now, it's more of them opening up and Clayton, like, I hear you. I don't know anything about him. Like, I really know nothing. Like, usually when the contestant opens up, the other person, even if they don't relate, they kind of bring something.
I think that's you coming off of Miss Michelle's season. A phenomenal Bachelorette who was willing to be vulnerable, who was even willing to lead conversations about herself on the one-on-ones. I think we might be coming off of that a little bit to a more typical.
If you think about Katie did that too.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like Matt probably
I try to forget about Katie.
Matt probably did.
Did he?
At some point, maybe.
The only thing I remember Matt opening up about is that we had to watch him tell 3 separate girls 3 separate times about how his dad visited him. That's the only thing I remember.
I learned something about him though. 3 times, but I learned it. So yeah, I don't know. It's just like Clayton doesn't really put himself in the conversation too. It's just like all about the other person, and like in a relationship, how's that gonna work? If one person is always the one opening up, that's gonna get tired. That's gonna.
I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that because I think on the one hand, when you are opening up and you're like, "This thing happened to me, I want to tell you about it," I think it's more. I get more out of the conversation when the person gives me that space and they don't try to relate. They're not like, "That happened to me too." Like, I can relate. Like, if they're just like, "Okay, let's talk about you. Let's unpack whatever you're discussing." So I like that he doesn't take the spotlight away in that sense, but I see what you're saying in that he does have room to be like, hey, let me tell you something about myself in a separate conversation. Like, he could host a separate conversation on the date to be like, let me open up about something. So I feel like it's mixed. Like, I don't want him to interrupt their stories, but I also want him to like start his own stories.
I mean, I think like what you're saying. I think it's important that if he can insert himself, as long as like when that person opens up, he asks those questions. Like he did that on Gabby's date when she opened up. Ask those questions, get that understanding, like show that validation and support, and then like let's learn something about you. Like it's two people in this conversation. So,
right.
I don't know. Like he could do more, in my opinion.
He could do a lot more. So. But yeah, no, I agree with you about how the conversation with Serene went. I feel like death is obviously something that is very uncomfortable to talk about, even with someone that you are super close to. So in this conversation in particular, I did give him a little slack for like not knowing what to say, because it's like...
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot. It's super tough. And I think he was appropriately respectful of the topic, but it was awkward. I liked like moving away from that. Serene tried to lighten things up, like she was telling stories about like the fireflies and her cousin and whatever, but it didn't really land for me, just because reflecting on it today, like the next day after watching it, she was telling the stories in a way that Clayton would have to already know her to like really enjoy those stories, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like
she
she
didn't
was
really
like
have too much of a reaction from what I can remember.
Yeah, like when she was telling it, she was like, yeah, and so like me being the kid I was, I smushed the bugs all over my face, and like that's a story that is kind of like you tell your good friends, and they're like, oh my gosh, that is so you. Like I could so see you doing that. Like you're so kooky, and you know, like whatever. That's something that someone who already knows you can relate to, but I just felt like she tried to speed it up because Clayton doesn't know you. He can't be like, oh, that's so you, because he just thought you were mysterious.
And I think his face showed that.
Yeah, he was like, oh, I'm just laughing here, ha. Like it just, I don't think that childhood stories are the best first date like material. Like you just don't have enough investment in knowledge in the person in the present to really be able to connect that back to their childhood.
I get that. But I also think a piece of it is just like I said, I think she probably might go far, but I'm just not seeing it really. I feel like if Rachel or like a Gabby or maybe like is it Susie, if they told that story, I feel like Clayton would have a different reaction. I feel like
That's
he would have a different reaction to it.
Okay.
And I want
Serene even on a first date though, so you don't think it was like the setting? You think it was just like the actual people involved?
I think it was the people involved.
Okay.
I do. Like Rachel would have whispered it in her little low voice, and Clayton would have been just laughing.
That's facts.
So like I don't know. Like I just feel like that's a piece that we got to think about.
Yeah, no.
But I don't know. Maybe I don't know, from like previews and stuff, where it seems like she's gonna get another date or they're gonna do more stuff. So maybe they'll build upon some stuff. But I wasn't seeing it on this first date.
No, I mean I wasn't seeing it either. But I guess I didn't think about that chemistry portion at this particular dinner date part of their activity. But that makes sense. Yeah. Either way, she gets a rose, and we move into the rose ceremony. Rose ceremonies
will always be not at the beginning, not at the end of the episode.
Not at the end of the episode. So we go into the rose ceremony. We open things up. We're back at the Shanae show. Clayton pulls the winning team from the little football championship tournament thing, and he's asking them to kind of give their side of Shanae and like what's going on behind the scenes, and then the drama just kind of unfolds from there. So what were your thoughts on the rose ceremony?
You would think that by seeing Clayton pulling the girls aside and, you know, getting their take and all that, like I thought, you would think like, okay, Clayton's really trying to get to the bottom of it. Clayton's about to make some moves. The whole time it was happening, my mind was just, nothing was going on, because I was like, Clayton's going to hear this and find a way to keep her there. Shanae throws herself onto him. Clayton loves that. Cassidy would still be here if no info was found out, even though those two are doing nothing and just are problems. So I was like, how's Clayton going to find a way to keep her there? How is Shanae going to work her way around the situation? Like, I knew nothing was going to happen. Like, the whole time.
Yeah.
Like,
no, that's real.
I appreciate him pulling him aside, though. Like, I mean, I appreciate that, but who says that production wasn't a part of that? Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe. This is The Bachelor.
I mean, would production want to create a situation where Shanae could get eliminated now?
If Clayton did it in a dramatic enough fashion.
Huh?
But we know that clearly didn't happen.
Still meant nothing to me, that encounter, so...
Yeah. No, I feel that. Yeah. I feel like it really clicked for me that Clayton was trying to carve out a path for Shanae to stay when he set her down and he was like, "Are you apologetic?" I think just that one sentence right there, that's someone giving you the opportunity to kind of correct for your actions. Like, they're still willing to give you a chance at that point. Like, he wasn't totally shut off from her. Like, yeah, he saw the red flags and he was like, I can't excuse this behavior or whatever, but like, he didn't want to have to act on that thought.
I knew
so he was trying
then.
to give her a thought.
I
or a way out.
Yeah, I knew before then. Because when they told him the information, he had a face, just like, and it's like, this makes things very hard. And it's like, so this is like, with this collection of women, this is like 8 or 9 people who have told you now about this woman, and you got a hard decision to make now. Like, how many people? Like, if everybody is pointing at one person, that person is probably the problem.
I don't even think at this point it's about the people. Like, I think everyone in the house could tell him the same thing. I think it's really just like, what action can he not excuse? And I don't think he's gotten there yet. It was wild, though, that he took so much offense to the trophy, first of all. Like,
I didn't know she threw the trophy. That changes a lot.
That really changed everything for Clayton.
Right.
But yeah, so he was like, "Are you apologetic?" He's still willing to give her a chance. And here's my thing. Shanae is annoying. She's obviously the season villain. Say what you want about her, but she's not dumb. Like, she's not dumb. Clayton, like I said, gave her that opportunity, and she saw it. Her wheels started turning. She said, "This is the opportunity. Let me capitalize on it. Let me do what Clayton wants me to do, and I will still have my mans." Like, she's not dumb. She knows what she's doing.
She hesitated for a second, though.
Yeah.
When he asked, like, her eyes squinted a little bit.
That was the wheels turning.
She was like, "Are you? Oh."
Yep.
So at first she almost cracked. She was like, "Are you seriously? Oh, I see what you're doing."
Mm-hmm. She was like, "Oh, this is the role I need to play." Yeah. Okay. I know my lines. She was reading her lines. That was the hesitation. She was reading the lines, and then she memorized the lines.
She said, she said, "Give it an Oscar." I give it to her.
I give it to her.
Brought the tears. Like, this is the second time she's cried and had to do what she had to do.
She did what she came to do. Like, she's annoying, but I really can't be mad at it. Like, I can't.
And then Susie came out like, I understand, and then going to the confessional, she apologized, and we're willing to do all that. And it's like whatever,
okay,
Susie.
girly.
Whatever, Susie. Hey, I liked you.
I know. I think she's the only one that bought her apology.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was kind of like that at the roast, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Later. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Shanae, man. Like,
yeah. So she made her through the rose ceremony. No surprise there. But some other, and then what was annoying is like that was the whole cocktail party. Like, it was just Clayton interviewing these 8 women, talking to Shanae twice, Shanae crying for absolutely no reason, and then that was it. And then we went straight into Rose, and it's just like I felt frustrated for the girls in that moment. Because I think someone said it later. I think it was like Rachel or Susie when they were talking about, it was in reference to Genevieve, but they called her collateral damage by having to go on the 2-on-1. But I think that really applies to all the girls. Like, this is the second rose ceremony in a row that it's been canceled because of Shanae drama. And Shanae is still getting time at these cocktail parties. Like, she's still getting to chat with Clayton at these other girls' like downfall. Like, it's really frustrating, and it's really not fair.
Are they gonna have to like extend this season out because of this? Like, what's why? Who does he know? Who does he know? Like, it's just like there hasn't been like how many full cocktail parties have there been at this point? Like, everybody doesn't get a 1-on-1, but like those cocktail parties, those group date like sessions are really important too.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
they are, and these girls are just out of luck. Like, they're not going to extend the season.
And the one girl that has been complaining about that time and time again. Like, Jill, didn't she get eliminated? Or no, she's still there?
I feel like she was still there.
Okay, she about to... Well, soon she's not going to be able to talk about that because she still is not...
Oh, no, she did get eliminated.
Yeah, it was her, Sierra, and Lyndsey.
Lyndsey,
right?
yeah.
R.I.P. to Sierra. How do you eliminate?
I know.
But look, she was in that role, though. Like, unfortunately.
Yeah,
so.
I was saying this to someone like the other day. Like, she was skating on thin ice because usually like snitches, tattlers, or whatever, they obviously don't make it very long on the Bachelor, Bachelorette. And she first like snitched on Cassidy, and she made her through that round, and then she grew into that role more with Shanae. And she should have stopped while she was ahead. Like, I think she would have had more of a shot at making a connection with Clayton and seeing where could have gone if she had not gotten wrapped up in the Shanae drama. But by being a double snitch, like, she practically dug her own grave.
She was essentially like the Aaron of the season.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
Like,
our new union leader.
Yeah, so you see on Twitter they talking about them in Paradise. So like them,
I don't
or
see
like
it.
They were similar, but I don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, they could be allies. Like, I feel like I could see them, like, she runs the girls, he runs the guys, and they come have, like, union leader
That'd be a great
meetings.
friendship. That'd be a great friendship.
Yeah. They'd be skewing on the whole beach, but they don't need to date.
Yeah, it's so sad to see her go.
I know.
Such a beautiful woman.
But she went out looking good.
Very.
Everything about her rose ceremony fit, it was working. The hair, the high ponytail, the dress, the makeup, like, everything was looking good. Everything was working.
I saw the ponytail, and it made me think about how much you hated Katie's, like, little fluffy little ponytail.
Okay, because that's the key word right there, fluffy. Katie never... Sierra's was slicked back. Like, it looked good. It was a brush. Katie would just... It looked like she was coming back from the gym. Like, she just took her hair and tied it up. Like, girl, you were the Bachelorette. You were on national television. Like, let's add some gel. I don't know what's going on.
It takes me back to all the times you clown Katie.
Yes, Sierra could give a ponytail class, honestly.
Yeah.
And I loved her, like, outgoing quote when she was like, "Don't be stupid." I think Clayton was a little thrown off by that.
I think Clayton didn't hear it.
It went in one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well.
So long, Sierra.
So then we go into our one-on-one date with Gabby. We ride in a helicopter for the second time this season. And we just spent some time walking around Toronto. What were your thoughts of this day portion?
At first, I forgot that he did the helicopter thing with Susie until you said
I did not forget.
So
I didn't forget.
I was like, yeah, this already just defeats, just drops the value. It's like,
dang, drops the value.
I'm just saying, like, there's so many things they can do, and like, there's so many different ways to get around. Like, why couldn't they have done something different?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe if Rachel gets a helicopter date, maybe we're seeing a trend here.
I don't want that trend.
Popular girls get the helicopter. But honestly, everything was cool. Like, I think we just saw more of Gabby and just like her funny side. She's a very goofy person. This reminded me more of Katie as well, just that goofy side of things. But it seems like Gabby is more of a solid connection. Like, it seems like they have a lot going on. So it was cool for them. I didn't really get much. This is not the most fun season, man. Like, it's really not. So I'm curious to see what connections build and all that, but it's not doing it for me like that, man. I'm just.
I mean,
but they look like they had a good time.
Dang. No, I feel that. I had fun on this date. Just because I feel like Gabby, her personality, you can't help but like join in on her goofiness and just kind of joking around with her, and like I felt we saw a little bit of personality from Clayton, like, for the first time. So that was really exciting to me, because I feel like a lot of other dates, like, he'll do something like weird or quirky or whatever, but like it'll just be like the date, like the activity is quirky or weird, and he'll take that and like be like, "Oh, you brought that out of me," and it's like, actually the date. But I feel like this time, like, Gabby actually brought that out of him, and like they actually just had like a really fun vibe going.
And maybe that was kind of the thing that I was missing, because like I do see a strong connection, and maybe it's that goofiness that's naturally coming out of Clayton as opposed to the other dates. So maybe I was trying to figure that out. But yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Then we go for dinner at this really nice hotel overlooking the Toronto skyline. I was honestly more excited about the location of this dinner, but whatever. So what were your thoughts of this dinner portion? The
view was great. That's one of the biggest things that stuck out to me too. I was like, we gotta figure out what we're doing Toronto for this Toronto trip. So that was looking nice. But in terms of the date itself, Gabby's story was very interesting, definitely emotional for her, and it was making me kind of wonder about, her being so goofy and being so funny. Like, that's something that she uses, when it comes to all that stuff that she dealt with and not having a relationship with her mom. It was really good to see her, like, let it out, though, because some people use that goofiness and that laughter to really, really cover it up and not really be vulnerable or open up. So I enjoyed that, and I thought how Clayton responded, I like how he responded, like asking questions, really diving in and trying to learn more. This was probably the best I've seen Clayton behave and, just and act on the dates.
Like a teacher evaluating a student for the report card.
Man, like,
your student exhibited good behavior this quarter. Keep it up.
Man. You gotta learn, man. Ask some questions, man. It's a short process. I mean, you gotta do more to like just learn, especially with the women that you're building these very strong connections with. Like, they clearly have a strong connection. So, and I think that he was really showing like how much he believes that. So I like how he was asking about, do you see a future of you guys having this relationship and, different things like that. So yeah, I really enjoyed the night portion. That's maybe my favorite, like, night portion, like, date, like, part of the date so far with the one-on-ones.
Yeah, no, I felt the exact same way. I wrote down the exact same stuff in my notes. I felt like it was one of the first times where I felt like the contestant opening up felt like a conversation. And it was still one-sided in the sense of what we were talking about earlier. Like, it was just Gabby opening up and Clayton not really, hitting us with something about himself, which, like, obviously is another conversation. But I liked that this did feel like a conversation. It did feel like a back and forth, and both people were involved in Gabby opening up. And I think part of that, like you said, is attributed to Clayton asking those good questions. It felt like he was engaged in the conversation for the first time ever, which was super exciting. But I feel like I would also give part of that to Gabby, because I felt like a lot of people make it a story, and a lot of people sit down and they're like, let me tell you about this thing about myself and talk for 5 minutes, and that's fine if that's how you want to present information, like, whatever. But I felt like something that Gabby did really well was, like, breaking things up incrementally and, like, pausing. Like, she didn't give him the whole thing up front. She was just like, I'm insecure. Pause. Clayton asked a question. She was like, I'm insecure because of my relationships.
Piecing it together,
like
everything.
Like, she didn't make it a story. It was just like, here's some information, let's chat about it. I'll give you some more information, let's chat about it. Like, it was more of like a back and forth, which I really liked. I think that really worked. And maybe that is how Clayton better receives information. I was
just about to say that.
Yeah,
maybe I gave him too much credit.
But maybe he doesn't do well with just getting a lot at once. Like, maybe he does need it broken down like that for him to feel engaged and feel like he's an active participant in the conversation, as opposed to just like a listener. Which I think just speaks to their connection, because it's like, you can care about someone all day long and, like, really empathize with what they're going through, but it's also about the connection and, like, finding someone that you communicate the best with. And Gabby is a very strong contender for that.
Definitely.
Place. Yeah.
At this point, it just has me thinking, like, with Clayton and him opening up, is it just going to have to take somebody who he super relates with if something comes out in another one-on-one, or is it just going to be when it's time to meet Clayton's parents that we learn more about him? Because this is like, I don't know what else is going to bring it out. But if there can be more things like this with Gabby that can allow him to bring more and give more to the conversation, then maybe that's a start. But I don't know him at all. So it's still kind of weird for me, but I definitely enjoyed their conversation.
Yeah, no, that's a really fair point. I really don't know. We could really go the whole season and still know as much about Clayton at the beginning as we do at the end. Mm-hmm. I personally have no expectations of getting to know him.
Sad. That's so sad.
Yeah, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. One other thing I have to mention though about this date, I don't know how you felt about this, if you took note of it. But I did not like Gabby's dress.
It was bright.
It was bright.
It was a bright dress.
It was bright. And here's my thing. It's not even the dress itself that I didn't like. I don't think that color works on her. First of all, I don't think it's not her color. But if it was, I don't think that was the appropriate setting. It felt like a very casual kind of like picnic, cute, like outdoorsy springtime date. Like, I don't know. It's not a formal, we're going to this super nice, luxurious, like skyline view hotel. Like, that's not what that dress called for.
That really is a picnic fit, though.
Yeah.
She got the little umbrella over there.
Yeah, right? So I was disappointed, honestly.
It wasn't really hitting like that.
Yeah.
And like given the setting, like maybe some darker color, it just wasn't right.
I don't know about that. I don't know that the color was inappropriate.
It didn't look right.
I don't think the color is what made it wrong for the setting. I think it was just the style, like the fabric and the cut.
You know better. You know way better than me. So.
But yeah, I had to mention that.
Yeah.
So then we go to a group date. We go to a classic roast. This is another date idea that has been overused. I'm sick. I'm tired of it. Like, I really am.
So you rather sit there and watch, but not see it anymore? Because after it happened, you were like, "Oh, this would be fun to go to."
I mean, in real life, me as a human in the world. They do this every time. It seems like when there's a super strong villain, and that's when they break it out. They've done it for Clayton's season. I feel like maybe we didn't do it for Michelle's season, but we had a poetry slam, which was just as bad. And then, well, I shouldn't say that, because Michelle's poem was really good.
Yeah.
But Jamie's poem was weird. Yeah. And then we did it in Katie's season. Did we do it in Matt's season? I know we did it in Tayshia's season. Because everyone was just like... Yeah, because I think everyone was roasting like Bennett. Not Bennett. Dale.
Oh, they did it that early? With Claire?
I think so.
I don't remember. I just remember that they did it with Katie and they didn't do it with Michelle.
So maybe every other season.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's too many.
Yeah.
Especially if they're gonna have these back-to-back seasons, it's easier to spot these patterns and these trends.
I enjoyed the roast though.
I mean, objectively, standalone, it was fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I guess in terms of standouts, first off, Marlena, I want better for her. Like, she's such a great person. Out of Clayton's league. She's such a great person, like, super attractive, like, and I feel like Clayton's just now seeing her, and it's just like, dude. Like,
she's like 10 steps out of his league. Like she's
insane, man. Like, she definitely came out guns blazing, like. And it's another thing about Clayton. I forgot where Clayton was from until Marlena like made that joke about the kissing your mom. I was like, oh, that's where Clayton's from.
Yeah.
Forgot. Didn't know. But yeah, that was great. I think the whole Mara versus Sarah thing, what's that about?
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah. I remember we were talking about like, oh, if Shanae happens to get eliminated, are you gonna try to push that villain narrative? Maybe?
I really don't.
Like, I don't know how they would do that.
Because I saw people on social media being like, marinara sauce is like 32 years old. So
yeah, Sarah, like I liked her before that, but I was kind of curious. She was cool. I was kind of curious as to what was going on because she did the one. I was like, oh, okay, and then just kept riding, like just kept going. I was like,
yeah,
am I missing something? Like,
it's not a very fun narrative because it's just not true. Like,
but wasn't that her, like, didn't that, like, the tagline she had when she came in? She said she was a cougar, and then they, like, zoomed in on her age, and they were like...
Did she say that? All I remember is her being like, I'm Mara, like marinara sauce. Or because she was like, I'm spicy and something else.
Or maybe it was somebody else who said it, maybe, and then, like, they showed the age, and it was like, you were 30-something. Like, you're, like, 32.
Yeah, either way, it's not a true narrative. You're not a cougar at that age.
Either way, I was more on Mara's side when she had a response, because it seemed like some of that she didn't really have anyway. Yeah. But, like, Sarah coming at her like that, I was like... It was
very out of the blue, and yeah, to write all of her jokes about that, it was odd.
Yeah. The Shanae jokes were funny. Going back to the Susie thing, she very much confused me. And just in terms, she seemed like kind of upset or like confused as to why they were joking about her, and it's like,
girl, do you not live in this house?
You know what a roast is? Like, it's have at it. Like, you know? But I thought everybody brought it. Like, everything was pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. As much as I did not want to watch it.
And Clayton was a good sport. I think he got. I mean, what was it? After the final rose with Michelle or whatever. It was reminding me of when he was seeing all those tweets about him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I guess he's been able to take jokes for a while, because that was, of course, after his season was up. But he was a good sport, and then the Shanae stuff didn't seem to bother him.
And I mean, I think he's also just like providing some larger context. I think because he's like an athlete, and I think athlete culture, like being on teams, like you're always kind of like ragging on each other, like in the locker room, and just like I just think that's the culture of like growing up in group settings like that, especially with a bunch of guys. Yeah. So I think he is probably used to getting picked on in a playful way.
Yeah, and I guess that's maybe a good piece about it. As much as you don't like seeing it, like at least this kind of fit with Clayton. With Clayton and how
like Teddi.
With Clayton and how he was able to be comfortable in that situation, because a lot of other times, like the lead will be like, "Oh, let's see, people are making this joke about this person. I wonder." Like, it's like, no, like have fun, like enjoy it. Like some stuff may be serious or true, but it's like it's all still a roast and fun. Right. So like I like that Clayton, wasn't in that lane and wasn't bothered by it. So yeah.
Okay. A second highlight for Clayton this episode. He's on a roll.
Yeah, this might be a record.
Yeah. So then we go into a group date or the after party. Nothing special, nothing new. We're at an undisclosed location and we're chatting.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Like I said, Marlena was just the credit Marlena was getting from Clayton was just too late. Like, I'm just like, what? Just from the roast, you're like, oh, like I'm noticing when boom, it's like she was tackling everybody first off on the football date, and like I just feel like she carried. Like I just like Marlena. Like she just I guess it's that athlete in her. I thought Clayton would be more attracted to that, and just how she carries herself, her confidence, and especially how she goes about competition and like going for things like that.
He might know that she's out of his league. That's the thing. Like, I really like Marlena, but I'm not necessarily rooting for her to get with Clayton because I do not anticipate liking them together.
He doesn't deserve her.
He does not. No. He does not.
No. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. Rachel, I told this to you when we were watching. I was like, I feel like that moment was like, I feel like she would be the person to win. Like the body language, they were just all up on each other. Like, she could have been whispering this time, but she was close. All right.
Her voice did kind of lower down a few octaves. She was trying to get there. It's like she doing Clayton with his eyes was probably like, not again. We're not doing this again, girl.
But yeah, like I don't like that. Was the strongest. I feel like that's the strongest connection. Like I would pick her right now to be the winner if I had to pick somebody. Yeah. So I thought that stuck out more, and of course she got the group date rose. So yeah, and then what else stuck out? Just Eliza not getting the credit she deserves, not getting the attention she deserves. She's the most creative, not having one-on-one dates. Like she always does something on the group dates. Like they're in Toronto, so she brought out the maple syrup. She had the mirror thing. I don't know if that was last episode or not, but she always finds a way to stick out in those settings. And like, I just feel like, will she ever get a one-on-one? Will she make it far enough? Like it's so many women here that Clayton is. I don't know what he's doing. Teddi still, like, what's going on with that? Like,
Teddy's gonna be another Abigail. I'm telling you.
Like it's crazy to me, and I hate, and it's black women too that we're having this conversation about, and that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
So like, and I mean, Teddi got the first impression rose too, being a black woman as well, and it's like, what's going on? You know, Serene is getting some attention too, but it's just like we've been seeing black women, especially like going back to Matt James' season. It's just like, what's going on here?
Yeah, but you know what I think about. I don't want to get into Matt.
We don't gotta do it. We don't gotta do it.
Yeah, that's we don't have enough.
But yeah,
time.
like it's just, I think Clayton has a really great group of women, like, and we're not. It's only us that's really seeing it, like.
Yeah.
And that's weird.
Yeah,
like,
that's a good way to put it.
You know.
Yeah.
It shouldn't just be the audience that sees this. Like Michelle pointed out, like the great group of men she had.
Mm-hmm.
Katie as well. Katie had a great group. It's just like. Yeah, man. Like,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's real. The only other girl, aside from the ones that you've already touched, that stuck out to me from the date was Susie. I really liked what she did. Yeah, I really liked what she did with, like, we just had the roast and I insulted you, so, like, let me compliment you. Like, I thought that was really thoughtful. Yeah, cool. I thought it was a good way to kind of incorporate the theme of the date, but make it more, like, individualized. Like, I enjoyed that. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, Susie always definitely stands out. So I definitely enjoy what's going on with her. I'm also curious to know how far she may go. I don't know. Like, I'm still trying to figure her out.
I can see her going pretty far.
She has a lot of personality. Like, she has a lot of character. I can see her being that person that, like, maybe it's like a final four, like 5 or 6 that doesn't win.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we don't get the 2-on-1. We don't get it.
I still want to talk about it. Because that was very much oh, wow. Is it still going? Okay. Yeah, that was very disappointing because, like, you had, I think it started to happen and you looked at your phone and it was like 8 minutes left.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my goodness. Like, they're stretching Shanae's appearances out on this show.
I know, because the thing is, like, they know what they're doing, and I'm mad about it. I'm
curious though, because usually from the 2-on-1s, I only saw another 2-on-1 with Noah and Bennett. No, and MJ and
no. You haven't seen a real.
I'm just saying in terms. I'm not saying that.
Chat.
I'm not saying like that. I'm just saying in terms of like 2 people being brought to a room, like brought somewhere.
A 2-on-1 chitter chatter. Yeah, not a 2-on-1 date.
But that's usually come off of like the host. I mean, like contestants seeing it. Like Tayshia called it out. I was like, I see this, and we're gonna talk about it. Like Genevieve, of course, has beef with Shanae. Like there's been back and forth, but. Clayton not something that Clayton has vocalized. Yeah. So I wonder why Genevieve was picked. Like it could have been.
Because the producer said pick.
You know what I mean? Girl. Like why not Sierra? Like why couldn't it have been a Sierra? Why could I don't know. Like it was this 2-on-1
because the stakes wouldn't have been as high with Sierra. Because Clayton was already like not really feeling Sierra like that. So the stakes are higher with Genevieve because that's someone who does have a chance of staying. With Sierra, if Sierra had been on the 2-on-1, it would have been so obvious that Shanae would be staying because he doesn't actually. He didn't have a connection with Sierra. Yeah. You know, we had to pick someone that it's like, it would be a loss for Clayton to lose.
But then it was also weird that it was still a 2-on-1 in the first. Like, I want to see a classic 2-on-1. I haven't experienced that yet being new to the franchise, but it's like, they had the whole conversation at the cocktail party with the group, and then he brings Shanae in to get her side, and they dead it. And you would think that, okay, that's cool. Like, what's the point of a 2-on-1 now? If it's like he gave her the rose to stay, and like they had all this conversation to figure it out. Like, what's the point? It's like, to me, it's like you need to eliminate Shanae, then, or Shanae has to be going then. Yeah. Because what you bring in Genevieve into something that she was already a part of. Yeah. Like, it could have been any of the girls that were in that group date that won the trophy. Like, I don't know. This 2-on-1 is confusing.
No,
but
it seems
like maybe the producers are like, all right, we need to bring this classic 2-on-1 back.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's do it. But I just feel like the setup was weird.
Maybe they could have. Maybe it sounds like you're getting at they could have done it earlier. Like now it's kind of like she's apologized. Clayton believes her apology. Whatever. So maybe they could have done it earlier.
The timing definitely was off for sure.
Yeah. No, that's real. That's very real.
Yeah. So I'm wondering what's gonna happen. I don't know. Like, I feel like Shanae's gonna go because there's a you know how I am, Brianna. I watch trailers and like episodes, and there's the outfit that Genevieve was wearing, that black outfit. All right, there was a clip of her at night with that same fit on, and she was like, "I don't want to be here," or something like that. It was at night. All right, and it looks like the elimination is gonna happen during the day. So unless it's just like another fake out or another clip, or she wore that outfit before this or something, I think she's gonna stay. And I know that you disagree.
I mean, I don't disagree off of those reasons. I don't really evaluate trailers like that. Yeah. But
I feel like Shanae's time is like, because what
I mean, I want it as much as the next person. I just don't have any faith in Mr. Clayton and his decision making skills or lack thereof.
What's the new thing here? That Genevieve is an actress, like they're.
Yeah,
that's Shanae's new thing.
Yeah,
it's like you're just pulling stuff out now, and it's just like, how are you?
Yeah, very
Clayton,
unsubstantiated.
Man. Come on, Clayton.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wish they didn't cut it off, man. I'm sick of waiting, man.
I know.
Like they gotta. So I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Any other final thoughts on anything we didn't touch on?
Let me think. I'm noticing. I think the last episode and the one before that, Teddi has been brought up at the end of the episode, and it's just, I feel so bad for this woman.
Yeah.
Like, when Gabby got that one-on-one, like, Teddi was excited, but I was just looking, and it was just still kind of like it's like, how long do you wait? I think she's gonna get one. Like
she will, but it might be one of those things where it's like too late.
How was this your first impression? Like, and because I feel like on that first episode, it looked like Rachel was really also somebody competing for that first impression rose.
Yeah,
and that seems more fitting.
Yeah,
it's like
because I mean that's one of like the I think key differences between the Bachelor and the Bachelorette. The women go in, they know what they want, they get what they want, and it's done. The men go in, they're like, I want you. And I've established a connection with you, so let me go establish a connection with someone else. And then with someone else. Like men, I feel like go for breadth over depth just to see what all is out. Like they don't want to leave any stone unturned. They want to make sure they've exhausted all of their connections before committing to something. Whereas women don't need as much evidence from other people to identify that one person is the one. You know, like we can get our evidence from that one person of like, I see in you that you're the one. I don't need to like have lackluster connections with other people to reconfirm what I already know about you. So I think it's just Clayton just being a guy.
I need to take away a first impression rose for the Bachelors then, as opposed to the Bachelorettes, because it's just useless at this point. It's like you can't let it, like you letting it. They had a connection from the jump.
Yeah,
I feel like, and you letting that just play out.
But
and it makes so much sense why Teddi is like, just trying to get that validation and trying to understand here, because it's like what did you mean to give me this rose?
But the thing is, I don't know if that's how the guy's brains are working. Like, I don't know if Clayton is like thinking that he's letting it go to waste. He might be thinking like, oh, I've already confirmed my connection with her. Like, she was the first connection. I've confirmed it with her. We're good. We're cool. I'll catch up with her later. I haven't confirmed my connection with a Gabby, a Rachel. You know, like, he might not be having that same train of thought.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, listen, it would annoy me. I'm annoyed for Teddi. I'd be annoyed if I were there. Like, I get it. But I'm just saying objectively, that might be what he's thinking.
Yeah, that makes sense. Another person, I don't know, this is just a random thought, but like, I don't know, Hunter is somebody I'm kind of curious about, because it's like, I'm not just like I want to get to know her or anything, but it's just like, she is a person that I just keep forgetting about until she gets a rose.
I think she's one of those extra people. I feel like she's going to be like an Aaron from Katie's season, like the second one. Not Aaron, the union leader.
I don't know, because it seems like other people who have gotten roses.
Or Brendan. Whoa.
I didn't even notice. I was like,
Brendan. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I think she's going to be like a Brendan, like someone who's just...
Katie's Brendan, right?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think she's just going to keep making it through. Yeah, not Brendan. Yeah. Not Tasha's Brendan.
Just making sure,
I think she's just going to keep making it through until Clayton looks up and is like, wait, I don't actually know you.
Yeah. I don't know, because I guess, like, there's some people who I also feel like aren't gonna go far, like a Hunter who have had more conversation and like done more. And it's just like she, on the other hand, it's like, why?
That's what I'm saying. She's gonna be like a Brendan, like, you know, someone who's just kind of like just hangs on to hang on.
Mm-hmm. Like I could see like a Lyndsey like not getting eliminated, maybe going further just because of other things that have been going on. But like I just I guess I know I'm just saying like I could see Lyndsey being in Hunter's place just because like I've seen more of her, even though I don't think she's going far.
But we haven't seen her with Clayton.
There's been interactions, haven't there?
No.
Maybe I'm tripping.
It's too many blonde women.
Maybe that's what it is. Yeah, but that I don't know. That kind of stuck out to me. But that's a good point. Yeah, because it's like that dude. Who's that dude that Tasha eliminated? Was it Easy? You know what I mean?
No, but Easy's like Teddi though. Someone who like we saw a connection with from the beginning, and everyone was rooting for him.
You saw a connection
with Easy?
I didn't really see that.
Or maybe I saw a connection between Easy and myself.
Because I feel like Easy had more of a presence when during Claire's part. I remember him more on that part rather than with Tasha. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. But okay, so maybe not a Teddi, but someone who's just
yeah.
But it's someone who's like very just like
I get you
out and about, and you're rooting for them as a person. Like you like them as a person.
Yeah. So
maybe like an Olu.
That's better. I feel like that's better.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what those are my thoughts. Clayton is still a very boring man who makes very dumb decisions, and I don't have any confidence in him. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
We will see. So thanks everyone. Jason, where can the viewers find you on the other side of YouTube?
Yes, guys, the channel is Jason's Take. Brianna's gonna throw it in the description. Doing album reviews. Did a Saba, 2 Chainz, and Kyle review this week. So definitely check those out. I just started. My subscriber number is low, so I need y'all to help me. I know all y'all love music. Y'all can't live without it. And I'm the one. I break it down. Like you got to come to my channel. It's what I do. It's what I do.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you back here next week for another episode of Brianna's Bachelor Breakdown.